Hello, good morning. I have just been to Wegmans, the Disneyland of food. I'm all cleaned up. I'm not sweaty today. I made myself presentable and I went to my favorite place. Wegmans, my favorite place to go. Hello, this is Josh. I have seen Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, and I'm just dying to talk to you about it. This is a prequel from the increasingly kind of misshapen but so fun and exciting Mad Max series, saga, franchise. And, a lot of the discourse around this movie is that it's, fun and well done, but it's just disappointing and it's not as good as Fury Road. And yeah, I guess that's true, but man, I think that undersells what Furiosa has to offer. As far as a standalone action movie by George Miller in the Mad Max series, its only problems for me are typical prequel problems. Other than that, it is an excellent, wild time at the movies. There are, like, I don't know how he keeps finding like new, startling things to do in this universe, which is basically just, people driving vehicles around in the sand and trying to kill each other, and fire and car parts flying everywhere. But he makes it so exciting. He is a brilliant filmmaker. I always kind of slept on, as I've mentioned before, and quite recently, in fact, I am from the 80s. But the Mad Max franchise was kind of a blind spot for me. It wasn't, I don't really like cars. I didn't know, at that time, I wasn't really a post-apocalyptic thing. I was more of a Star Wars and animation kind of a kid. But of course, eventually I grew up and I caught up with them, and I appreciated the originals for just being crazy and having great attitude and great stunts. Then of course, Fury Road came along, and oh my word, here's an aging filmmaker with decades of experience and new technological tools and a big budget, and computer assistance, which we'll talk about a little bit in relation to Furiosa. But to see what he achieved with Fury Road, which was just one of the most relentless, amazing action spectacles I've ever seen in a movie theater. Unbelievable. So has he topped it with Furiosa? Probably not, but I don't know. If that's the bar, then no, I guess pack it in. Why would we even try? But for what it is, Furiosa is fantastic, and I loved watching it. So this is the backstory of Furiosa, the character portrayed by Charlize Theron in Fury Road, and she is played here by a young actress whose name I don't know, and then as she ages into a young adult, by Anya Taylor-Joy. There is this takes place, it's a prequel to those events, so there are characters we know. There is Immortan Joe and the Citadel and the War Boys. They're all a little younger, they're not the same War Boys. I mean, like Immortan Joe and his sons and his cabinet, or whatever the government structure is there. But there's also new elements introduced. So there's Chris Hemsworth's villain character, Dementus, who is, from the trailer, I was really worried that he was going to just be goofy and obnoxious, and he is that, but he's also more compelling than I expected. It's not just it's a performance that's dialed way up, but there's more going on. And Mad Max villains are always fascinating. Like, it's insane. It's great. I love it. What's not to love? It's so fun. So there's also another new character, and I don't remember the actor's name, but he's the young man. I've only seen him in like The Souvenir. I've seen him in these austere dramas, these intense indie dramas, like The Souvenir and The Souvenir Part 2, which I have actually not caught up with yet. But he plays a truck driver who like he's like a legendary truck driver who knows how to get shipments of gas through when the marauders are attacking and all that stuff. And he kind of forges a bit of a partnership, an alliance with Furiosa. I won't get into the plot because who cares? But I guess it's good a time as any to get into the prequelness of this movie and how that's really the one. Look, prequels don't work. I can't think of, like, I know someone will throw some title at me of a prequel that's good. And I would say, yeah, Furiosa is a prequel that's good, but it also doesn't work. Like, it's that thing. There's so much entertainment here that it doesn't matter. Like, when a movie is also stilted and hard to watch, like, I don't know, Attack of the Clones, and it has prequel problems, then it's just a disaster. If a movie is exciting and entertaining and cool, and it's got prequel problems, then you're a little more forgiving. So what I mean by prequel problems is that you have to get characters to an end place. And we have this thing in movies now that we didn't have, I don't think we had it before, where you take a known quantity, you take a known entity, a character, an IP, an identity, and then you have to reverse engineer a story to get that character to the thing that you know from the movie that you like. You have to see Wonka get his stick or get, whatever. You have to see how that amazing movie character got there. You have to see Darth Vader's mask get placed on him. And I've felt since that trend began, like, can we have like a family meeting about whether this is what we really want to see or not? Furiosa is a great character, and I don't even think that Furiosa's backstory is the problem in this movie. I think it's great. It's just, in a movie that's 2.5 hours long, and it does not feel long, it's very, very watchable. It's well paced. There's action sequences here. There's a truck attack sequence that just keeps going and going and going, and not in a bad way. You just can't believe how unrelenting it is, and that there's more inventiveness and more, it's unbelievable. But when all is said and done at the end of this movie, it can't be very satisfying, because it's just trying to leave you off somewhere with the idea that you're supposed to watch a whole movie, and then at the end you're supposed to fill in the gap with everything that you know, and that's supposed to be what's satisfying about it. It's just not really how stories or cinema are supposed to work. And in this movie, I'm not going to spoil exactly what it is, but Miller does something with the end credits in this movie that really takes what I just described. He tries to like rub your nose in it, of like, and now we're here, and this is what you like, right? And this is what you remember. And it really was just like, oh, I don't know that there could have been, there's a denouement, the specific revenge story of Furiosa's young life does have a resolution in this movie, but prequels can add these extra little sidelines and these other stories and resolve them, but then it has to be like, but now back to the saga. That's what you really like, right? No. I mean, yes, I guess I like your movies, and I give you money to see them, so you think I love your saga. But I'll watch Fury Road to watch Fury Road, and I'll watch Furiosa to watch Furiosa. I'm okay with cinematic universes. I think Marvel also broke everything and ruined everything, even for themselves, because those phases of Marvel where we got to Infinity War and Endgame and by and large, most fans anyway, found all that very satisfying. It ruined everything, because everything has to now be part of a universe. Every movie has to be setting up part of a different movie. And this isn't that egregious. I'm just saying in general, this has ruined movies. And it's even ruined Marvel, because Marvel cannot get back. It cannot hold audience interest enough. It's not compelling enough. It will never achieve what it did at phase 3, 4, whatever that was. We just need to stop, and we need to tell good, complete stories in a movie. And there is a good one here. It's much more about the spectacle, though, and watching a master at work. George Miller is one of those filmmakers who, as he ages, he's only getting more interesting. 3,000 Years of Longing, the Genie movie with Idris Elba and Tilda Swinton. I thought a lot of people slept on that movie. That is a crazy, wonderful movie. He kind of, for me, he's filled in he's filled in the slot that used to be, in my younger imagination, it used to be dominated by Terry Gilliam. I loved Gilliam movies when I was a kid and a young person. And then even as a young adult getting into film, I felt like here is a vision and an auteur. He's also a crank, and I wish that he would stop saying things to interviewers here in the 21st century. But he also just his movies became more and more complicated and harder to get made, and then they weren't as good when they came out. I feel like Gilliam's real accomplishments are in the 80s and 90s. Miller is like this kind of crazy visually inventive auteur, and he just keeps getting better. His movies just get bigger and wilder, and so I guess that's the one other thing is the CG. I've heard a lot of people complain that as if Fury Road was this 100% analog in-camera old school action movie, and now Furiosa is all CGI. I don't think that's true at all. I think that both movies have been enhanced by digital technology. You could not capture the images that have been captured in these films without the help. And I thought there was plenty of practical stunt work and spectacle in Furiosa. There's a few things, I guess, with the environment where, yeah, that's CG, but there was plenty of that in Fury Road too. People are just not happy. And maybe I'm sounding like someone, I'm complaining about this prequel issue, but the takeaway should be Furiosa is great. See it in the theater. I saw it in IMAX. It was great. It was loud. It was beautiful. I love the movies. This is one of those I love the movies. All right, that's it. I've talked enough. I will catch up with you again very soon. I'm going away for Memorial Day weekend up to Buffalo to see some friends, and I will catch up with you next week. Goodbye. See ya. Bye. Later. So long, Screwy.